Let the night settle around you. Your shoulders grow heavier, your breathing slows, and the world becomes softer. Tonight, I will guide you into a long, gentle story. The story of Eros, the quiet heart of love itself. Take one slow breath in and let it fall out of your chest. Let your eyes grow warm. Let your body relax. There is nothing to do now. Just listen. Just follow the soft path of the story. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a calm world. A place that does not rush you. A place that waits for you. A place that feels like a warm hand on your back. And in this world, there is a valley. A quiet, wide valley where the air feels soft, almost like silk. The grass moves gently with the wind, slow and peaceful. The sky is deep blue, with small golden sparks inside it, like tiny stars that forgot the night and stayed to watch it. You begin to walk forward. The ground is steady, safe. Each step feels simple, like your body already knows the way. You don't need to think. You don't need to try. You just walk, slowly, calmly. Far in the distance, you see a soft light, not bright, not loud, just warm, like a candle placed behind a thin cloth. This is the place where the story of Eros begins. As you move closer, the valley grows quieter. The air gets warmer. The wind slows until it feels like it is waiting for you to arrive. And then you hear it, a heartbeat. Not your heartbeat, not someone else's. A heartbeat of the world itself. It is soft, steady, patient, like something ancient, something kind, something that has watched humans for thousands of years without rushing them. This heartbeat belongs to Eros. Eros is not fire, not chaos, not a dramatic god screaming across the sky. Eros is Jenna. Eros is the quiet pull that brings two people closer. The warm feeling in a small moment. The soft truth inside the chest that says, you can care, you can open, you can love. When you reach the light, you see a small stone path. Old, smooth, touched by time, but safe. It leads you to a small lake, clear as glass. The water glows from within, not with magic, but with something simpler, something like memory. You sit by the edge of the lake. The ground is warm, as if the earth is gently holding you. You place your hands on your knees. Your breath comes slow and easy. The lake begins to show you a story, not in words, but in images that float gently over the surface. You see a young world, before humans, before names, before language, a quiet world full of soft light. In that world, Eros was born as a feeling, not a person. He did not speak. He did not fly. It was simply a warm presence moving through the universe, touching everything that needed connection. When the stars were lonely, he placed them near each other. When the oceans were empty, he whispered to the tides. He taught them how to reach toward the shore. When the first living creatures woke in the darkness, he rested beside them so they did not feel alone. Eros was the first comfort in the world. The first, you are not alone. The first soft truth inside everything that lives. As you watch the lake, Your body grows heavier, more relaxed. Your shoulders fall. Your breath steady. The story continues, slow, like a dream. Eros wandered the young world for ages. He watched how life began to change, how creatures learned to move, to follow light, to look for warmth. He moved gently among them, teaching without words. He showed them how to feel safe near each other, how to rest without fear, how to trust the world around them. And then, humans arrived. They were new, they were fragile, they were confused by the weight of their own hearts. Some feared the world, some feared each other, some feared themselves. Eros looked at them with quiet kindness. He did not judge. He did not push. He simply stayed near them, letting his warmth touch their hearts. Humans began to learn connection because of him. A hand held, a smile shared, a gentle look, a quiet moment when two people sit together and breathe in the same rhythm. These small things, Eros, made them possible. You look deeper into the lake. Now you see a small village from long ago, simple houses, warm firelight, people sitting close to each other as the night settles. Eros walks among them unseen, touching each heart like a soft breeze. He does not control. He does not command. He simply reminds them, you can care. You can soften. You can trust. You can heal. Your breath grows slower. Your body grows softer. You feel the same warmth he gave them, a gentle presence, patient and calm. And the story continues. Stretching over centuries, the lake becomes calmer. The surface becomes so still that it almost looks like a mirror. You watch the images inside it shift slowly, like the world itself is remembering old stories. You see Eros walking through the ancient village at night. The houses glow with warm firelight. The air smells like wood and earth. People speak softly, their voices gentle and slow. Children sleep with calm breaths. Old people sit near the fire, their hands wrapped around warm cups. Eros moves between them like a soft wind. He touches the shoulder of a tired mother, and she feels strength return to her body. He rests beside a lonely man, and the man suddenly remembers someone he loves. He sits near a child who had a nightmare, and the child relaxes, feeling safe again. Eros does not leave anything behind that can be seen. He leaves only a feeling, a warm, slow softness inside the heart. You feel that same softness now. It moves through your chest, almost like a gentle wave. It does not rush. It does not push. It simply settles inside you. The lake shows you another image, a road stretching across the land. Mountains at the sides, a quiet traveler, walking under the pale morning sky. The traveler looks tired. His steps are slow. His shoulders heavy. He carries old worries, old fear, old stories that still live inside him. Eros appears beside him, not in a loud way, not in a sudden flash, just a soft presence, like someone walking next to you without saying a word. The traveler does not see him, but he feels something. A warm calmness deep in the chest, a small moment of relief. The traveler stops. He looks at the sunrise. Then he sits on a rock and breathes deeply for the first time in a long time. This is what Eros does. He brings stillness where there is noise. He brings warmth where there is cold. He brings gentle clarity where the heart feels confused. You look away from the lake for a moment. You notice how quiet the valley has become. The wind has slowed almost to nothing. The sky has grown darker, softer, like a blanket pulled over the world. And you feel heavier in the best way. Your body's settling. Your breathing deepening. Your mind drifting in slow circles around the story. The lake glows again and shows a new scene. Now, you'll see a wide field under a night sky full of stars. Two people sit beside each other, not speaking. They are close, but not touching. They share the silence, and the silence feels warm. Eros stands behind them, invisible. He reaches out and lets his hand hover over their hearts. Something gentle connects them. Not strong, not dramatic, just a soft truth that says, I feel safe with you. I can breathe with you. I don't need to pretend around you. The two people look at each other, not with passion, not with fear, just quiet understanding. This is the kind of love Eros teaches. Not loud, not painful, not wild, but calm, steady, a love that grows slowly, like a tree reaching towards sunlight. As you watch, you begin to understand something deeper. Eros is not about falling fast. Eros is not about burning bright. Eros is about connection that feels natural, like your heart is finally in the right place. The image fades, the lake turns smooth again. You sit there quietly. You feel like the world is breathing with you. You feel like the valley is holding you gently. The story continues. The lake now shows a small hill covered in soft moss. Eros sits at the top of the hill, watching the world below. He watches people live, love, hope, fear, try, fail, grow. He watches their hearts open and close, like windows in a house, and he never judges them. He knows the human heart is fragile. He knows it gets tired. He knows it carries old wounds, old memories, old shadows. But he also knows something else, that every heart can open again, that every heart can find warmth again, that every heart, even the most wounded one, still remembers how to love. Eros reaches out his hand. A soft light forms in his palm. It floats into the air, moving gently like a firefly. It travels across the valley, looking for someone who needs it. And then you see it, the light moves toward you. It slows, it hovers, and then it rests on your chest, sinking gently inside. You feel a slow, spreading warmth. Not emotional, not dramatic, just fu, a steady, quiet certainty that says, you are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to soften. You are allowed to feel safe. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders drop a little more. The warmth settles into your heart like a soft blanket. The lake shows another memory. This time, it is a young woman sitting alone by a river. Her eyes are tired. Her thoughts are heavy. She holds her knees close to her chest, as if trying to protect herself from the world. Eros sits behind her, placing a hand near her back. A gentle glow spreads through her body. She lifts her head, her breathing slows. Her shoulders relax. For the first time in days, she feels like she is not carrying the world alone. Eros whispers not with sound, but with feeling. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are safe here. The woman closes her eyes, and the river continues to flow softly at her side. The image fades again. The valley grows warmer. You feel your own heart growing lighter, softer, calmer. And the story continues, slowly, gently, like a long dream unfolding through the night. And so the seasons continued to pass, slow and gentle, like long breaths of the earth. People lived simple lives under the soft glow that Eros left behind him. Most of them never saw him, never spoke to him, but they felt him in the warmth between family members, in the calm inside their chests, in the quiet peace that came during sunset. Eros walked through fields of tall grass. Every blade of grass leaned toward his light. Tiny insects paused in their small lives just to rest in the warm air around him. He did not command anything. He simply existed, and the world soft wherever he went. One afternoon, while wandering near a wide river, Eros noticed a group of people building a new village. They worked together, passing stones, sharing water, laughing, helping one another. Their actions were small, but to Eros, they were bright. Each gesture, a tiny spark of connection. He sat under a tree not far away and watched. He didn't interfere. He didn't guide them. He only let his quiet warmth drift through the air, and soon the people felt calmer, kinder, more patient with one another. A young builder named Morin felt this calm more deeply than the others. He was usually nervous, always worrying about mistakes. But today, he felt something new. A slow, steady sense of trust in himself and the people around him. He lifted a heavy stone with the help of another worker. Their hands touched briefly, and Orin felt a warm rush inside his chest. He didn't understand it, but he knew it made him want to be better. Eros smiled softly. This was his gift. Quiet, invisible, but powerful. As night fell, lanterns lit the new village in small circles of gold. People sat together, eating, sharing stories from their day. Eros stayed under his tree, just listening. A child wandered too close to the river and stumbled. Before fear could rise, the child's mother reached out quickly and caught them, pulling the little one into her arms. The moment was small, but the love inside it glowed like a spark. Eros watched, warm and peaceful. He understood something then. He did not need to create loud miracles. Tiny moments of care were stronger than mountains. They spread. They multiplied. They grew inside people like soft fire. Later that night, when the village slept, Eros walked along the river again. The moon shone like a silver path across the water. He dipped his hand into the river. Light spread from his fingers and moved with the current, carrying calmness to places far from where he stood. He imagined the water touching distant forests, quiet lakes, other villages full of people who had never heard his name, but they would feel him. They always did. After a long walk, he reached a hill covered in wildflowers. He lay down among them, the petals brushing against his skin like soft rain. He looked up at the stars, the same stars he had seen since the beginning of time. They felt familiar, like old friends. He closed his eyes briefly, listening to the slow heartbeat of the world. Somewhere far away, two travelers shared a small fire and felt less lonely. Somewhere else, a mother hummed to her baby and felt her chest warm. In another village, a young person looked at someone they liked and felt their heart flutter gently. All of this, all the small pieces of connection, were threads of light traveling to Eros, filling him with steady, quiet joy. He breathed slowly, letting the peace inside the world flow back into him. The night was deep. The flowers around him swayed softly in the wind. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He only rested, low and calm, as though the earth itself were holding him. And in that rest, the world grew a little warmer. The morning came slowly, with a pale golden light spreading over the hills. Eros opened his eyes, still lying among the wildflowers. A soft breeze moved across the land, carrying the scent of fresh earth and the first sounds of waking birds. He sat up gently. His light was faint at first, still waking like the rest of the world. But soon it warmed, spreading through the field like a small sunrise. He stood and looked around. Dewdrops shone on the petals, tiny bright beads catching the light from his chest. Every drop seemed alive, as if it breathed with him, as if the morning itself was happy he had stayed there. Eros walked through the flowers, each step making the colors glow a little stronger. He didn't choose where he went. He let the world guide him, moving like a quiet river, flowing toward places where his presence was needed. Soon, he came across a narrow path. It led to a forest, tall trees, soft shadows, a cool, calm air under the branches. Animals sensed him as he entered. A small fox paused, looked up, and its eyes softened. A bird landed on a branch close to him, tilting its head, feeling safe. Inside the forest, Eros heard something unusual. Not danger, not anger, but loneliness. It was faint, like a weak flame. He followed the feeling through the trees until he reached a small clearing. There, sitting on a fallen log, was a boy, maybe 10 or 11 years old. He held his knees close to his chest, looking at the ground. His face showed a quiet sadness, the kind that came from feeling unseen. Eros approached him slowly. The boy didn't look up right away, but after a moment he felt the warm air around him. He lifted his head, eyes wide, confused but calm. Who are you?" he asked softly. Eros didn't answer with words. He simply sat beside the boy, close enough to share warmth, but not too close to frighten him. The boy took a deep breath. His voice shook a little. "I got lost," he whispered. "My village is far, and I thought I knew the way, but I don't." He looked at the trees, and his eyes filled with tears. He was trying not to cry. "I don't want them to worry," he said. "I don't want to be a problem." Eros placed a gentle hand on the grass between them. The boy's breathing steadied. The fear in his body loosened, slowly, like frost melting in sunlight. For a long moment, they just sat together. No rush, no pressure, only calm air and soft light. The boy finally looked up at Eros again. Can you help me find my way?" Eros stood. He offered his hand, not forcing, just waiting. The boy hesitated for a heartbeat, then reached out. When their hands touched, the boy felt something gentle, not excitement, not shock, but a soft strength that filled his chest like warm water. They walked together through the forest. Light followed them, moving through the trees, guiding their steps like tiny floating stars. Animals watched from safe distances. The forest itself seemed to open a path for them. After some time, the trees grew thinner, and the boy could hear voices far away, worried voices calling his name. His steps quickened. He ran ahead, and the villagers spotted him. They rushed toward him with open arms. His mother hugged him tightly, crying from relief. The boy turned around to look for Eros, but Eros had already stepped back into the shadows of the forest, letting the family have their moment. The mother held her child close, and the boy whispered into her shoulder, "I wasn't alone. Someone help me!" She looked around, but saw no one. Still, she felt the air warm, just for a second. She smiled softly, not understanding, but grateful. Eros watched from among the trees, his light dim and peaceful. He felt the connection between the boy and his family, the fear melting into relief, the relief melting into love. This, too, was part of his purpose. He turned and continued deeper into the forest, letting the world guide him once again toward another quiet heart that needed a little warmth. Eros moved deeper into the forest. The sunlight above the trees became softer, like it was pausing to watch him. He walked slowly, listening to the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant hum of a river. Soon, he came across an old stone bridge. The stones were smooth from years of rain and wind. Beneath the bridge, a small stream flowed, sparkling like scattered stars. Eros paused. He could feel the water was restless, worried, as if it had something to say. From the corner of his eye, he noticed a girl sitting on the edge of the bridge. She had long, dark hair, and she was quietly skipping small stones into the water. Each stone made the stream ripple and sigh softly. Her eyes were thoughtful, almost sad, but there was a small curiosity too. Eros approached carefully, making no sudden movements. The girl looked up. Her voice was gentle but full of wonder. "Who are you?" she asked. Eros did not answer with words. He only let his light shine softly around them. It was warm, comforting, like a quiet hug. The girl tilted her head. I think I've lost something," she said. "I left my village to explore, but now I can't find the right path." Eros kneeled beside the bridge, not too close, but close enough to share a feeling of calm. The girl watched the ripples in the water, and slowly, her shoulders relaxed. Sometimes, Eros' presence seemed to say, "The path is not straight, and that is okay. The world will help you find your way if you listen." The girl smiled faintly. She picked up another small stone, letting it bounce lightly on the water. Then, "Maybe I can try again," she whispered. Eros's light seemed to shimmer in agreement. Together, they walked along the stream. The water sparkled, and small creatures peeked from the grass and stones. A frog sat on a lily pad, watching them with bright eyes. A pair of dragonflies hovered above the water, as if guiding the girl's steps. After a while, the girl spotted a familiar path leading out of the forest. Her heart lifted. She looked at Eros with gratitude. "I will find my way now," she said softly. Eros nodded, his light gentle but firm. He knew that even small guidance could change the course of a life. Before she left, she touched the edge of the bridge. The stones felt warmer than before. She smiled, feeling a quiet strength in her chest. Eros watched as she disappeared along the path. He turned back into the forest, his journey continuing. Every step he took was quiet, purposeful. Every heart he found grew a little brighter. He listened to the wind and the trees, knowing that there were still many lonely hearts, many small fears waiting for warmth, and he would be there, gently, silently, like sunlight through the leaves. Eros continued through the forest, the soft light from his chest guiding him. The air smelled of moss and ancient wood. The deeper he walked, the quieter the forest became, as if it were holding its breath. Ahead, he noticed a circle of tall, silver trees. Their trunks glowed faintly in the dim light, and their leaves whispered softly to each other. It was a place that felt old, older than any village or village path. In the center of the circle, a creature lay curled. It was not frightening, but strange and beautiful. Its scales shimmered like water in the moonlight. Eros bowed slightly, the glow around him softening. He could feel the dragon's loneliness, too. Even a creature so wise sometimes needed a gentle presence. A small, frightened deer appeared at the edge of the circle. It had been lost, too, wandering far from its home. Eros stepped forward, and the dragon uncurled, allowing the light to flow between them. The deer calmed, approaching slowly. The forest seemed to sigh, releasing the tension of fear and uncertainty. Together, the three moved slowly out of the silver circle. The dragon stayed near, a silent guide. The deer followed, trusting the gentle warmth Eros carried. As they walked, Eros noticed small signs of life. A broken branch, mended by tiny vines. A flower opening in the shadow. A bird returning to its nest. Each step was quiet, careful, but full of purpose. Eros knew that even in the deepest shadows, a small light could guide someone home. Finally, the path widened, and Eros felt the faint sound of a village in the distance. The dragon paused, lifting its wings slightly, as if saying goodbye. Eros' glow wrapped around the deer, leading it safely back to its forest family. The dragon lowered its head in gratitude, and Eros continued into the trees, knowing there were still hearts waiting for a little warmth. Still paths that needed gentle guidance. Eros moved forward, deeper into the forest and beyond. The trees thinned, and soft hills appeared in the distance. He could feel the faint heartbeat of many small live children, animals, and even quiet, lonely souls. Each one was a thread in the gentle fabric of the world. As he walked, the light from his chest grew warmer, brighter. It wasn't loud or harsh, it was soft, like the glow of dawn. With every step, he touched hearts without even knowing it. A tired bird found its nest. A child slept peacefully. A weary traveler found a clear path through the hills. Soon, Eros reached a small, wide meadow. Here, all the lights he had shared seemed to gather. The glow of joy.com and courage mingled, forming a soft, golden warmth that spread across the grass. Eros stood quietly in the center, watching. He could see the boy from the forest, smiling at his mother, the girl by the bridge skipping stones, and even the forest dragon watching from the silver trees. Each heart he touched was shining, and together they made the world feel fuller, safer, kinder. He realized then that his journey was never about moving alone. It was about weaving light into the world, one heart at a time. Even the smallest act of warmth and offered hand, a soft smile, a gentle presence was enough to change the course of a life. The meadow was calm, the air soft and quiet. Eros let his light fade gently, not disappearing, but resting. He felt peace in every part of the forest, every path, every living being he had touched. And as night began to fall, the stars appeared above. Some were bright, some faint, but together they mirrored the light Eros had shared. A quiet reminder that even when the day ends, the warmth continues, hidden in hearts, ready to guide anyone who feels lost or alone. Eros took a deep breath, feeling the connection of all he had touched. Then he walked on. He knew the world was a little brighter, a little softer, because he had been there. And the forest, the hills, and the stars seemed to whisper softly, "You are never truly alone."